What's up, everybody? Wagey tapping in for another court chat. Today, I wanted to go over a discussion. I want to talk about sadness and how allowing myself to have access to this kind of broadened my spectrum of happiness and helped me get through a bunch of dark times and helped me just forgive and understand a bunch of stuff. You know, because ultimately, again, as a youth, as a man, the emotions I'm most comfortable with are anger and happiness. I know how to process both of those on a regular basis. Anger you can convert into all kind of productive stuff. Maybe the reason why you avoid sadness, because it can be linked with depression and blah, blah, blah. But for me, coming to understand and grasp this concept, again, has broadened my horizons on happiness. Because what sadness is for me is me wanting better for somebody and seeing them choose otherwise. It's almost like watching an alcoholic or some kind of substance abuser take advantage of themselves. As much as you might care and want them to stop these engagements, you can't do the work or force them to make decisions that they're not ready for. On that note, it's sad. It's sad to watch and see someone that you care about battle with a situation that you know isn't good for them, but hey man, there's nothing you can do. You'll drive yourself crazy through anger and a whole bunch of other things trying to force them to make a decision that's clear to you that's not good for them. But you can't get them to see it. It's sad. Shout out to my little brother. Shout out to the big homie Tommy Gunn, because he calls it not giving a F. And for me, I guess that's my not give a F is calibrated a little bit different, because I care. I see these things. I wouldn't have tried to invest in you if I didn't see something worth investing in, So when I see these things, whether it's a relationship through intimacy, a family relationship, shit, it can be one of your children doing some weird stuff that it's like, look, dude, I care about you and I want you to have a better life, but if you are hell-bent on ensuring that your life turns into a dumpster fire, I am not going to stop you. I'm not going to try. I'm not fighting you to save something that you can't do yourself. I can't do it. I can't rescue somebody drowning if they're not willing to listen. That's how it works. It's Lifeguard 101. So it's sadness. Also, through gaining understanding to my access to sadness, my perception on a bunch of things blasted wide open. Because I can understand things that I might have done to cause said emotion that led to their action to well up in their mindset. All feelings are valid. They're real. You can't discredit anybody's feelings. How you act upon those feelings is up to you. Some people can't process their feelings effectively, so they make emotional decisions, and it impacts their life accordingly. This is unfortunate. Chasing happiness is one of those things, because when you're pleasure seeking, you're often taking on and in things that aren't necessarily good for you. I know from experience, this is how I got lucky, because I engaged in certain things consciously, and I want to say without running away from things, but maybe I was. Could have been experimenting. could have been running away from things. Let's call it both. But because, I was consciously doing these things in my youth, plus I had, responsibility really early, I managed that teeter-totter. And the thing that really, the emotion that I was dealing with heaviest was anger. I was angry. I was mad at the world. Most of the youth I see this in a lot of the youth, because you get educated a little bit, you think about politics and blah, blah, blah. What people fail to realize about some of these things is that they're part of the problem, but they won't admit it. Because if you enjoy AC, ice cubes, iPhones, any convenience along that nature, automobiles, if you don't go on walks all the time to go get whatever you need, you're contributing to the problem that these politics are based on, because you yourself could make a statement and stop engaging in all of that. But you don't. I understood that very young because of how my upbringing was. I got it. I've been the person out in the fields. I've also been the person enjoying the amenities. I see the world. I get to see more of the world rounded, and I get to enjoy perception, especially when I allowed myself to be sad. Before, I would be angry. I would be mad. I would be upset. I would be frustrated because this person that I'm trying to take care of is fighting my care. Isn't that funny? That's crazy. But they took the help when I gave it, but they wouldn't follow the rest of the plan. Interesting, right? It's so weird. We used to live in a world, A Knight's Tale, Heath Ledger, one of the greatest movies with him ever. So he saved this gentleman from the stockyard or whatever, and as a result of saving that person, the individual chose to dedicate his life to serving Ulrich von Liechtenstein or Heath Ledger. That's how honor-based this world used to be. I would save your life. I would pull you out of struggle and strife into a life that you couldn't have had access to without me. And matter of fact, probably stop you from dying. I would do that out of the kindness of my heart. Nice. I would be nice to you. I got down off of whatever shit that I was on to see you, a person in need, offer help that I was more than capable of doing. And you, by choice, felt honor bound to dedicate your life to serving me and ensuring that you could pay me back because you valued your life. Man, how things have changed. Crazy, right? That's what it used to mean to save people. That's what it used to mean to be nice. That's what it used to mean to be generous. Now you can't get a thank you if you hold a door open for a motherfucker. Different levels, understand, but this is how things change. And again, people want to gripe about, labor. I was talking to my little brother about the borders, and it's like, homie, you're not gonna pick strawberries. And matter of fact, you're fighting to ensure that your kids don't have to pick strawberries and do weird kind of labor. So also, you run a business. Who do you employ? I don't understand why you're frustrated or concerned about this, but I totally understand why you're frustrated and concerned about this. Perspective versus perception. Seeing his side. I get it. I understand. It's hard to step outside of yourself to really see. People can't be left alone with themselves because they'll have to look at things internally. This is how important community and relationships are. You know that trope that there was where, you would straighten up your house because you were having company over? Why don't you have the discipline to maintain a nice house outside of having company? Is it because you're embarrassed about how the company is going to judge the condition of your home? And if so, why is that if you're keeping your home to an acceptable standard for yourself? Maybe you're not. And then maybe having company over might spark something in you to actually elevate your game. Interesting, right? How do people become hermits and hoarders? Maybe because there's nobody stopping over to check in on them. Or maybe the people that have stopped over to check in on them didn't have the influence, so this person just kept on about their business, didn't value the company, lost that, and now they're trapped in a world of their own mess and creation. Interesting. It's sad. It's sad to see that because you want better for people, but no matter how much you want it, if they're not going to take action to achieve what they might want, what can you do? You can be angry, you can be bitter, you can be hurt, you can be frustrated. I learned to be sad, man. Well, it's another shrimp on the Barbie, but I gotta keep moving. In my community, there is a bunch of debt to your predecessors that you're supposed to pay back. I did all those things. So, having completed those tasks, I get to be free, right? It doesn't mean that I don't care, but I did it for the people that I'm supposed to. And for some reason, they can't help themselves. Perception, though, access to sadness, I see what happened and why. Maybe you have resentment for the individual that you had me with, so that might have led to confused feelings about how you actually view me. Maybe just as a whole, men in your life haven't really been what you wanted. So understanding how that resentment might play into how you treat me makes sense. I get it now. It's sad. It's a sad thing. These are unfortunate things that are sad. I can see why maybe you didn't trust a decision that I made because I was drinking at the time. Cool. But you did also kind of choose to get with me when I was partying, and I hadn't really made a poor decision. I hadn't failed through anything that I was doing. So why all of a sudden wouldn't I can see, but like maybe you should trust me because you got with me in this state. I haven't really fell and butt my head. I was definitely engaging, but I was getting up and taking care of what I need to. If you felt some type of way, I can see that. But why would you get with me in a situation that you wouldn't trust me in? Interesting. You know what I'm saying? These things are interesting, but if you can allow yourself to perceive real feeling, you can understand a lot because all feelings are valid. And through understanding my full emotional spectrum, hey, I see so much now because I see mine. What's the difference? It's the same. But the difference is how we're going to act out on these feelings. That's the big difference. The difference is how we're going to articulate these feelings. That's the difference. Do you know how difficult it is to take an abstract thought like a feeling and then find suitable verbiage for it so that another individual can comprehend what it is that you're actually saying to them? Everybody doesn't use words that pretty. could be so strong of a feeling that you don't know how to put it to words. I understand. But now through understanding my feelings, I can see yours. I can see how I might have made you feel some type of way. My bad. And you're right. Being blinded to my own for so long, I apologize for not accurately viewing yours. Definitely try to talk though. Like I said, I lived in anger and frustration a long time. Not to say that my actions were wrong, because everybody benefited from them. And they took advantage of them. They took all the advantage of the kindness. But because of how I presented information, they chose not to respect certain instructions, which are fine. I understand. And I get to be sad forever now. Because I wanted better for you, for us. It's unfortunate that feelings arose that led to a lack of trust. But I trusted you, and I believed in you. That's why I kept investing. I can't anymore. It's unfortunate I made it to a point, or let me rephrase that. I'm grateful enough to have made it in a point where I have very little left to give. But because I've given and provided to the things, responsibilities, the duties that I needed to, I get to give this last little bit to me. I could have done it beforehand, but I probably wouldn't have had a lot of things that I would have. And maybe if I was giving to myself when I was actually going through the things that taught me a lot, I might not be here today. Like physically. Because I would have given to myself a lot. Because it's easy to live when you're just, it's easy to live when you're just living for yourself. I think that's the challenge that a lot of people have. When you're just living for you, it's rather easy. If you want to have fun, you can do it when you're just living for yourself, man or woman. It's not that difficult. If you have responsibilities and goals in tow, you have to find time for fun. So, yeah, maybe I would have given to myself a little too much. But I'm glad that I accomplished things and that I saved people from certain situations and that I got to provide experiences for individuals that I care about. I'm glad that I got to do these things. Before I was mad. I was like, man, I did all this and blah, 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 blah. No, I'm grateful that I got to do these things. I'm sad that it didn't play out. I'm sad that people have to struggle now. I'm sad that I can't interact with people because of how they choose to conduct themselves. I'm sad. But I'm not gonna let it stop me. What I'm not is depressed. I'm not like overwhelmed with it. I'm sad. So this is my understanding of sadness, inside out. Because Joy wouldn't let Riley experience sadness. She didn't understand the dichotomy of those two things. Where joy actually came from experiencing sadness. I don't know. Feel free to chime in, thoughts in the comments. We can extend this out through another discussion, but that is why I value sadness at this point in my life. Because everybody can't, man, you can want to save the world, but the world's got to want to save itself. And if it won't do it, it's sad. But you got to keep pushing. You can keep striving and surviving. You can be an example, you can be a light. Maybe people will find their way to it. If not, hey man, you're not responsible for their decisions. It's okay to be sad, and you can still be strong and happy experiencing a little sadness. That being said, continue to conduct your life in a manner that is going to keep you on the tracks heading in the direction that you want to be for yourself. It's okay to help people along the way. If those people can't step up and help themselves, it's okay to be sad and keep it moving. I encourage you all to keep moving forward in a positive manner so that you can live the life that you want to live and become the person that you would like to be. Step on that wagey train, keep it moving. Y'all have a good one.